For some of you guys might have noticed that I have live streamed yesterday about trying to beat Bloonarius Elite on ranked mode, and not just on ranked mode, on the co-op ranked mode solo, which means it has 1.6 times the health of a normal elite boss. And if you guys don't see it now, that's because I have pivoted that video because I have failed in my objective, and I don't think it's worth keeping it up. So yeah, the purpose of this video is to sort of so-called repay for my actions, because I felt bad about not being able to provide a proper tutorial yesterday. And yeah, I know that I'm starting off this tutorial with 2 cash drops, but if you guys want to do the math, the 2 cash drops only cost $400, whereas you know, it'll give you $500 in terms of monkey money plus a whole bunch of other rewards in the elite boss. So I decided that, you know what, it's worth it. And yeah, so that's why I've done it as such. It's and don't worry about the monkey farmer that is going to be placed on later on. You can choose not to have farmer, but more importantly is to talk about the recent state of events in Bloons TD6. So as you might have noticed recently over the past few months, these events has been getting a lot harder, and specifically today I want to talk about not just events overall, but I want to put my focus on the boss runs. Now keep in mind, I don't find this week's boss run fun at all, especially if you're playing ranked mode. But now I'm only saying that it's not fun if you're playing on ranked mode. If you're not playing on ranked mode, then of course it is still as fun as ever. It's interesting that it's interesting to see how it works with 5 towers only, rather than, you know, the normal restrictions that you have. But still, it's not fun at all. So let's cut to the chase. Why isn't it actually fun for me and a bunch of other people? So first, there's actually no time for us to learn or retry 100 times. So in case you guys didn't know, I've been uploading less and less recently because I have commitments to other projects, or not other projects, my work itself. And yeah, I prioritize my work over YouTube since I'm not even making any money from YouTube in the first place. So yeah, I need to focus on my work more, and that's a problem because since I'm focusing on my work more, and same as a bunch of other people actually, it makes it such that I have less time to play Bloons TD6 overall. And the thing about Bloons TD6 nowadays is that even though I'm a veteran player, nowadays I'm only playing the events, not the core game itself. So I actually haven't tried the latest map that's been released in this latest update, which is called Quarry. And yeah, it's not because I think the map is too hard. I mean, if we're gonna say it's an intermediate map, I've beaten expert chimps before. This is a pretty standard easy map. No, it's because I've sort of lost interest in that, and I think that goes the same with a lot of the veteran players. Like nowadays, even I said, we don't see him competing regular maps nowadays. No, you see people playing the special events, and this means that special events is very important for the retention of the people who, you know, play this game for a very long time, you know, like me. And well, let's actually go back to Bloonarius for a moment here. Now earlier on when I say that it's not fun at all, I want to clarify that it's not fun for the majority. It's only going to be fun for the very few, aka those people who are at the top of the game in terms of bosses, which unfortunately I'm not one of them, as I said earlier, because of time. And yeah, it's going to be a huge problem. I mean, even this week's race, like even though I am good at races, I also know that it's harder than usual. And I recognize that a lot of people are unable to, you know, beat this race normally. I'm pretty sure the leaderboard will be significantly reduced for this week's race, along with the boss event, which is a little bit concerning if I'm being honest. And not to mention that there are way too many restrictions. Like, I get it, 5 tower run, it might be fun for a few only, but for most people, especially those who just go into a game, like, that is not going to be fun at all, because there's no like stepping stone for them to sort of like learn the ropes. Like, sure, there's tier 1 to tier 5, there's regular and elite, and yeah, I'm glad that there's a differentiation between regular and elite. My problem with is that it's just too much. Like, Jesus Christ, like when Bloonarius first came out, it was actually a fun boss for us to actually play. Like back then there weren't any restrictions. I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't remember when was the last time that a boss event went without any tower restrictions at all. Like, Jesus Christ, can't we go back to that point in time when, you know, there are no restrictions where we could actually play it however we want to? Because honestly, that's what I find fun about boss events. I don't know about you guys, maybe it's just me, but to me, boss events are fun when there's no restrictions and I can try out different strategies, especially when there's, you know, new content that comes out. For example, recently, the new engineer Paragon, heck, even the new map, Quarry. Like, Quarry is a reasonable map, and yeah, we did have that in the last boss event, if I'm not wrong, 2 boss events ago, but still, my point is there's still a lot of other things that you can explore without, you know, having such stupid restrictions. Like 5 tower, like the 5 tower restriction, sure, I can get by it, but not on rank mode. I legitimately tried rank mode over and over again on elite. Even on single player, I couldn't beat it. I am stuck constantly on tier 4, and hence why I started off with 2 cash drops this time. And yeah, if you guys think that, oh, I'm a noob, then yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm not specialized in boss race. I'm more of a race guy, but yeah, that's the thing. It's difficult for new people, or rather the regular people who are used to this game already, to, you know, even make progress in boss events. Like, I want to try and beat all 5 tiers, but if that means I have to resort to cash drops, and Jesus Christ, this is the first time I have to use 2 cash drops in one game, then I don't know what to say. Does it mean that I'm that weak, I'm getting that weak, or does it mean that it's legitimately just getting harder and harder? I don't know. The best way to look at it is just by checking the leaderboards. Like, if the leaderboard is just filled with too many, or rather too few people, then yeah, you know that that's a problem. And besides, I think the leaderboard is actually important because ever since the boss update, there's been a differentiation between both ranked and unranked mode, where ranked mode allows you to, you know, get more rewards in exchange for having, you know, no power ups and no double cash or whatever there is. But still, I still think it'll be more interesting if, you know, you give everyone a chance to be on the leaderboard so that, you know, they know where they're placed. But if you make it such that the leaderboard mode is not fun, and only of the top of the creme de la creme of players could even end up on the leaderboard in the first place, I don't think that's fun. It's like, I mean, it's like, think about it, it's like having racers, but, you know, you have a different rank, you have a separate ranked mode and unranked race mode, where unranked race allows you to, like, I don't know, use powers or whatever. It's stupid. And yeah, it makes more sense in boss mode to have an unranked mode, but I still think it's better if there's a way to get more people on the leaderboard without them being actually discouraged, because every little reward on the leaderboard, I think, is worth it. It also shows like how good of a player you are, and if it comes at the cost of, you know, not being able to, you know, join the leaderboard because the game is just too difficult, then I don't know what to say. It probably means that the boss event itself is way too hard, and that's not how leaderboards are even supposed to work in the first place. Like, if you have an option for people to join the leaderboards, then like, what's the point of having one? Like, the average player would see that, who actually do play ranked mode, or just see that they are at the bottom of the leaderboard, they just get discouraged, and yeah, they just won't play events anymore, or rather even ranked mode, just because of how difficult it is. Now keep in mind, this difficulty problem doesn't just apply to boss events, it also applies to other things such as races and Odysseys, as I mentioned earlier. And thankfully this time it's only Bloonarius. It's a lot worse in other bosses because of the special abilities that both Lich and Vortex have, but that will be a thing for another video. But let's come back to the topic of this. I don't understand why Ninja Kiwi is trying to change the game a little bit. There are 2 main reasons basically. One is that they're trying to make the gameplay a bit more difficult, especially since the leaderboard timings are now like, oh sorry, back then it was sub 1 minute, and that's because it was all just the same old strategy. It's just lag after lag after lag. For example, in case you guys didn't know, it was just a Spectre spam, 204, 205, sorry, 240 and 250 Spectre spam, or plus 204 sub spam, oh sorry, 240 sub spam, yeah, that's correct. And yeah, because of that, that's how people manage to get sub 1 minute timings, especially in Bloonarius. And yeah, I can see why Ninja Kiwi might want to up the game a little bit, make it more difficult for people to, you know, just go for the same old spamming strategies a bit. That's fine, but another reason is also because trophies are starting to get too easy to get. That's because now there's so many events where you can get trophies, with the exception of contested territory, which fair enough. And this makes it such that trophies have too easy to get, and there's less value to it, which, you know what, also understandable from Ninja Kiwi's perspective. But you all know what it is from my perspective. Like, even though I got a lot of trophies, I have unlocked almost everything in the trophy store. I do recognize some problems. First off, there are less than 100 players on the elite leaderboards. So, as I mentioned earlier, this means that there's less people who actually compete for slightly more trophies, and yeah, like maybe there are more than 100 people on the elite leaderboard now, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 events ago there's less than 100. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's really bad, and it's like, what, 3 days after the event started, so it wasn't just 2 people on the leaderboard since 2 hours after the release. No, it was like, I think 60 to 70 people on the elite leaderboard after which just means that only this small handful number of people managed to beat ranked elite in the first place, and that's a bit of a concern if you think about it. And second off, it also means that it's impossible for new players to catch up on trophies. And don't forget, with new items added into the trophy store once in a while, especially banners, which cost a lot, like 300 trophies, which means that you need to grind for 3 weeks just to get 1 banner. Yeah, I don't think that's ideal for the majority of the player base, especially the new players who wants to have a chance to unlock these new cosmetics. And yeah, so how do you fix this? Okay, so with that being said, I legitimately have no idea how to fix it. Like, on the one hand, I do want competition for the leaderboard to be minimized, but on the other hand, that means that it's going to make it a lot more difficult for new players to compete in the first place, which, you know, puts you in a pickle. And I think that's where Ninja Kiwi is at right now, pickle with boss events, because I don't think it's in their interest to make the boss events too hard either, but at the same time, make it too easy will make it such that regular players also, you know, just spam their way to the leaderboard, which also isn't ideal. So I legitimately have no idea that would work. Unlike my contested territory video where I do have some solutions, I legitimately couldn't think of one here that will work well for everyone. So why make this video in the first place? Well, I just want to point out that, you know, the fact that these boss events are getting harder and harder, it discourages competition. It makes it such that cash drops are like the viable way to go, and I don't think that's the entire point of boss events. Like, I know I did use cash drops, but that's because I wanted to get trophies and I legitimately had no choice other than to use cash drops. And also, this difficulty makes it such that it's easier for people to give up, especially long-time players. And if players give up, it will result in a dwindling player base. And given that, as I mentioned earlier, most people only play special events, that's a big problem. Like, maybe Ninja Kiwi won't see it now. Like, as of right now, currently, Bloons T6 still have a massive player base, if you check on steamdb.com, and it's been pretty consistent. So, yeah, I would say that the player base is going to dwindle soon, but if boss modes, or actually even if these game modes are going to be as hard as they will be, yeah, you're going to discourage the long-time players from even playing. So you're probably going to encourage them to quit just because there is no other option but to do so. And no, I'm not on the verge of quitting, but I still think it's something worth thinking about. Like, I don't know, maybe this entire video is wrong. Who knows? Maybe it's just my opinion. Maybe this isn't the opinion of the player base itself. But I think that something has to be done about that, especially if you want to retain the majority of the player base, those that are in the middle or halfway through so-called completing the game, whether it be getting all the achievements or maybe getting black border and everything. Who knows? But either way, I still think it's something worth considering about. Should you make any changes based on this video? Maybe. I'm not a developer. I don't know what is in your guys' mind when you make these boss events, but I just hope that going into the future it's going to be more reasonable and less, well, for lack of a better term, trashy as it currently is. So yeah, basically, I want this to be fun again, not just you know, grinding all the way. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you have anything else to add, and I'll see you guys in the next video.